Hello! Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the Petty and Ill-Informed Podcast, where we venture our petty and ill-informed opinion about a variety of topics. Joining me tonight, Nikki and Tom, two of the most interesting and awesome co-hosts from across the world. What is going on, guys?
Currently wondering if you've taken speed or not.
Right,
No.
he just snorted a line of coke and did the intro.
No, I have done coke twice in my life, and that was enough. I can never touch that stuff ever again. I can totally see why people get addicted. It is awesome.
Well, I never have and never will. Thank you.
Yeah, no, that doesn't surprise me, Tom. That doesn't surprise me. You strike me as the type of bloke that, thought staying up an hour after bedtime was living in the fast lane.
Well, quite. I'm pleased to be tame.
Also, to the chat, pandas are not cool. Pandas are evil, purse, and we'll leave it at that.
They're
Do you
adorable.
two? Oh, spare me your bloody panda sympathies, you puffin murderous hoe bag.
So, what good news are you sharing?
I don't know. There's good news in Whoville tonight. I'm waiting for Gabby to tell me. She hasn't.
You don't want to give away Jesus?
Unless she's already told me. Hold on a minute. Let me check my chat with her
Oh, about the Eagles.
about the Eagles.
I
Oh,
want Richard to update about the Eagles.
right. So,
Are they going on tour again?
no, actual Eagles.
Oh. What about them?
Unless it's actually the Eagles football team, because she wasn't super specific. She's just said the Eagles. So I'm guessing, because we were talking about Bold Eagles a lot.
We
So I'm
were.
guessing she's talking about Bold Eagles.
We've talked about them on the show the past couple of weeks.
So she sent me a message saying that Ashley Harris had beaten Michael Toms for the mayoral race, which incidentally was the second time Rock Island had elected a black mayor since 1842.
Wow.
Right.
Which because that was before the Civil War. So there was a black mayor before the Civil War, that seems. But a lot of states had pre-black people before the Civil War in the North, I guess. Anywho, yes. Right, yes, Gabby, you were right. Bald eagles are no longer endangered and haven't been endangered for some time.
I mean, we can
But-
kill them now.
Yeah, I think they've been in Alaska. There's this dude that's been actively campaigning for a cull of bald eagles because they're a nuisance.
Wow.
Seems hard.
I remember seeing him sit down for an interview, and the interviewer was like, "Is it fair to call you an enemy of America?"
And he was like, no, I'm an enemy of the bald eagle.
Well, I mean, it's your nation's emblem.
And just
Which
because you find them a
seems hard.
nuisance doesn't mean you're anti-America.
Well,
Seems
the thing
really
is, Tom, sometimes animals do need to be culled. I know, because,
Deer.
well,
Here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whenever predators have been hunted, have been pushed to the point of extinction, vegetarians overpopulate and need to be culled. I've been pushing for that with vegans, but, with a grassroots campaign. I see what I did there. But yeah. So yeah, sometimes you gotta kill animals because they'll do a lot of damage if their populations aren't naturally controlled. And since people don't want to introduce the predators that would naturally do that, then it's up to us to shoot a bunch of them. But then the hippies are like, "Oh, you can't do that either." It's just so dumb sometimes dealing with people that have no idea how nature works, claiming they're all about nature. because they're all like, oh, it's all about balance and harmony. It's not about balance and harmony. It's about chaos and destruction. That's how nature's always worked.
Survival of the fittest. Is that how it's always been?
That's how evolution works. Yes, Tom.
Oh, I know. Well,
You throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks.
What stinks?
I mean, it works either way.
that sounds like something you'd read on a t-shirt. You know,
I mean, it works
sounds like
either
a
way.
slogan. I guess can't argue with that.
Well, so this week I went out to dinner twice, and I promised myself that I would make as little fuss about being vegan as possible. And the first one was relatively easy because it was a burger place. It was someone else's birthday, so they were opening loads of presents, and that was really fun. And they really liked what we mate of mine. He really liked what we'd all got for him, and so sorry, I've got a real frog in my throat tonight. No idea why. Metaphorically speaking, of course.
As long
And
as it's not a dark frog, you're okay.
well, yeah, quite. We'll go on to we'll follow that segue in a little bit, if that's cool, Richard. You can tell us all about the dart frog. I think I know what you might be going to say about it. We'll see. So, I just had a falafel burger. It was rather nice, and somebody else mentioned, oh, they've got a fair few vegan options, Tom. Someone else said, yeah, I think that was one of the reasons this place was chosen. I said, oh, cool, thanks. And that was it. But the second place, as you guys already know, because I sent you a picture, was lame. It was a Turkish meat grill place. Now, I didn't have any role in choosing the venue. It was someone else's leaving do. And I felt very grateful and very lucky to be invited. And trouble was, they had almost nothing on the menu that was labeled vegan. It was just 2 salads, and that was it. You know, there was no grilled vegetables and no falafel. That was all labeled vegetarian, but not vegan. And so I went up to the bar and I asked them, and I said, what about your falafels? And they said, no, we cook them in butter. And I said, okay, what about the olives then? And they went, oh, yeah, they're vegan. I said, okay, well, that's something. So when I sat back down, I thought, well, look at this rate, it looks like I'll be getting a KFC on the way home. But obviously, I didn't want to make a fuss because it was spoil someone's leaving to. And besides, it wasn't all about me. So when Karen took the orders, I ordered olives for a starter. Thankfully, they brought some bread out start just, you know, as a starter for us all, which was really nice of them. And that stuff was delicious. And chili sauce was very weak, but can't have everything. And then I ordered a salad. And then she said, do you want some chips with it? You can have chips, they're vegan. I said, oh, great, that'd be brilliant, thank you. And I thought, great, I'm not going to need to get, I will be able to eat properly. But then they brought this salad. And as you guys have seen, because I've shown you the picture, it was in a puddle. It was this very flat dish. How they didn't slop it all over the shop when trying to carry it to the table, I don't know. It was just a couple of degrees either way, and it would have slopped everywhere. and I got this salad, and it tasted quite nice, but it was very rich and very sweet after a while. Full of oil, full of balsamic vinegar. Just swimming in. It was sort of little finely chopped onion and a couple of other vegetables just what I can say, in a puddle. But the chips were nice, and the salad was nice enough. I just couldn't eat too much of it because it was so rich. But it was not an ideal meal. It would have been far nicer if they'd have been able to offer some falafels or some vegetable kebabs or something. But never mind. The other thing, as you know, was rubbish. Was this week's coconut was off. Yeah, wasn't happy with that. Went for my planning time on a Wednesday morning, as I normally do. Went to somewhere quiet, discreet, and out of the way, because I do not, believe it or not, Richard, contrary to your fixed opinion of me, I did not wish to make a spectacle of myself. Hid round the corner, cracked open my coconut, but then a couple of bites in,
Where
hang on,
did you crack it open?
Round the back of the staff room. It's out of shot of
Yeah.
everyone and
Yeah,
everywhere.
how did you crack it open?
Just twatted it against the ground.
Okay, so you loudly smashed a coconut against the ground in a corridor.
No, not round. It's just this little. It's just out of the way. It's as close to the middle of nowhere. It's just in a hidden corner of the school, really.
Okay, but you did it loudly.
Well, only as not ostentatiously loudly.
I don't know why. I think you should embrace it. Embrace the meme at this point. You know, put the coconut down, pull out like a samurai sword or something, shout "Hiya!" really loudly, and just cleanly cut it
And
in
if
two.
it tastes off, pull a Danny McBride and then just chunk it at the head of like the nearest adult or kid,
Yeah,
whatever.
just
Just
be
like
like,
fuck this, and then throw
"This
it.
coconut offends me."
I'm not sure. I don't know if that would have been the smartest move. Bringing a samurai sword into a school with special needs children.
Well, obviously, keep it in the staff room.
I
I mean,
know.
it just.
If you and
I
I were
feel
in
like-
if you and I were in the same room as a samurai sword, I couldn't promise that after 10 minutes you wouldn't want to use it to annihilate me.
Contrary to what you think, I've never actually killed anyone that's been proven in a court of law.
It's true.
Anyway, how did we get there? We were talking about evolution, and then you sideswiped us to salads, veganism, and smashing coconuts.
Well,
It's what he do.
sorry, not deliberately. It was just the one thing I had to talk about, I guess.
I'm teasing.
Yeah.
I don't mind that you're vegan, Tom.
Well, I think it's. I don't know. Let's. I think we should start another streak. I'm not going to mention it again to any of you, or pretty much
Until
anyone else.
next week.
No, from now.
You say the word streak like you've managed to go more than a day ever in your life.
It was a good few months.
He was doing okay for a little bit.
Okay, fine. All right, Gabby, you're the deranged superfan. Start a counter. And you're right. Nobody minds that Tom's vegan. I mind that he's clearly attention-seeking when he smashes coconuts on the side of his school.
I just really like them. They're a really nice way to eat fruit.
They're not
It's
even fruit.
What are
They're
they?
nuts.
Yeah.
I think so. I know they're not
There's
fruit.
Tom just smashing his nuts in front of God and everyone.
Ugh. I don't know what they are. Look, come on. This is where Gabby normally dives into my inbox with a screenshot of Google's first AI answer.
Oh no, it is a fruit technically, a drupe.
Ha ha. There you go.
A type of fruit with a hard, stony covering enclosing the seed. Well, what other thing apart from coconuts fits that description?
Mm.
They're just delicious.
All right, let's go into this deeper. How many drupes are there?
Probably a bunch. Jackfruit, maybe? Durian, possibly?
There we go. Cherry, peach, and olive. Piss off. How are they remotely like a coconut?
It's weird. And
I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry.
The hard bit for those is on the inside.
Yeah, no, it's a nut. Google's wrong. I'm putting a fucking. I'm challenging
Put in
red flag.
fruit baskets. It's in the fruit section of the supermarket.
Red flag on that. I'm challenging Google's definition.
Just because it said you were wrong.
I've been able to accept that I'm wrong many a time, especially with you and your bloody autistic level of bloody knowledge of Google, but in this case, no, because all the other examples are not even slightly coconut-like. Dates is a drupe. A date. That's no. A coconut has to be a nut. It's like tomatoes.
They're a fruit.
They're a fruit.
They're fruit.
They're a fruit.
Fruit salad is just salsa.
They're just very, very nice.
I love a good tomato.
SoFlo has 3 coconut palms outside his window.
Nice.
Down in Florida, are you, SoFlo? Florida. I'd love to live in Florida.
Me too. I've lived there before. It was amazing.
Alligators, crocodiles, the Everglades, skunk ape.
Mm-hmm.
What a place to chill. You get great whites as well.
Yeah, I was talking to Purse about Gatorland, which is like a very hillbilly attraction in Florida that doesn't cost very much to get in. And it's just where all the white trash go to look at the alligators in a safe space. And people wrestle alligators there and all sorts of stuff. You get to watch alligator shows. It's fun for the whole family.
Imagine that. I did see a video of one guy that put his head inside a gator's mouth and it snapped down and tried to rip his head off.
Oh, I've never seen that happen, but I have seen many a head in many a gator's mouth.
And I'm just well, you kind of had that coming, mate.
Yeah, it's just something that...
Richard, I think I saw that video too. It was like in the really early days of the internet.
And the explanation they came up with was because the dude was sweating and a drop of sweat touched the gator's tongue. And it was just like...
Interesting. Yeah, I think it's just a normal thing you see in Florida if you live there. At some point, you're going to see some dude, probably without a shirt on, putting his head inside of a gator's mouth.
Okay, does anyone know what this shit is with Trump and penguins?
No. What?
Trump penguins tariff. It's all over my Facebook.
Oh, there's like an island that he's putting a tariff on, and literally it's just an island of penguins. Like nothing comes from there. But there's a tariff there.
Right.
Yeah.
He's tariffing the McDonald Islands. Gotcha. Okay.
That's it.
So he's tariffing penguins, but not Russia.
I think he's tariffing Russia as well. I think that basically they just went, okay, these are the main guys that we want to tariff to shit. And all the other people get a flat 10% tariff rate or something like that. It was something strange.
I've just segued totally into a Wikipedia article called "Death by Coconut," which is literally death by coconut falling from trees and twatting you on the head.
Okay.
Yeah.
We were talking about Trump tariffing penguins, and now we're back to your subject of coconuts. And
no, we're
you're
not.
honestly going to sit there and say you're not an attention seeker at this point.
Sticking with Trump and penguins, then can we get on to bloody Vance going to Greenland after this? Is that a more reasonable and suitable digression? But staying with Trump and penguins, Nikki, carry on, please. Trump and penguins.
No, that's all I have to say about that.
No, it's not a political show, Gabby. I was just wondering
what
why
you were saying. That's
why
it.
everyone was going on about Trump tariffing penguins.
That's why it was an island that like I said, I think that he went, okay, Canada this much, China this much, Japan this much, all these places this much. I don't give a shit about these other places, flat 10% or something like that. I'm trying to ignore it as much as possible because there's nothing
Yeah,
I can do
I
about
don't
it.
care. He's not my president. I've got Keir Starmer as my prime minister. I don't have a dog in that race. I was just bloody wondering why everybody on my Facebook was suddenly saying Trump was tariffing penguins.
You know, they gotta lose their minds over something.
I mean, well, you know, when Biden was in power, a lot of my friends were making anti-Biden memes. I've got a lot of Republicans and Democrat friends.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was making fun of Biden, and I voted for his ass. You know, I made fun of Biden falling upstairs, falling downstairs, sniffing people's hair, like, you know.
And it's kind of sad, you know, because he was clearly not fit to be president for a
I
couple of those years.
agree, and I'm not 100% positive that Trump isn't kind of showing his own signs as well.
It's so difficult
But
to
who
tell
knows?
with Trump.
It is. It's really difficult to tell if he's just being Trump or if he's like losing it a little bit.
Again,
At
not
any
that I
rate,
care.
it is definitely a job that will make you go nuts if you're not already. I mean, look at how quickly like people like Obama went absolutely gray.
What what do we think Trump's gonna do with bloody Greenland? I mean, is he
I have
serious?
no idea.
I have
Probably
Danish
is.
friends, and all of them have said he's welcome
They-
to it.
Yeah,
So
no one give. I don't think that anybody cares. It's weird.
it'd be like if he tried to annex Wales. Would we really care?
But I mean, but if he has to go in militarily to do it, which he would, it's either that or a referendum, surely.
Mhm.
Why in God's name would he mobilize the US military to seize control of Greenland? There's like
'Cause he-
10 people that live
Because he
there.
can.
Because he's Trump.
That's not a valid excuse. I mean, to mobilize the US military, you've got to go through the Senate and Congress.
Yeah.
You can't just say, because I'm Trump, to mobilize them. I mean, he's capable of it. Don't get me wrong. He's more than capable of saying that to the Senate and Congress. But it
There you
needs an
go.
actual excuse.
I mean,
Because I wanna.
I mean,
Because
it-
I'm Trump. I would love that fucking press conference.
Right. Well, why?
If
Because
he-
I'm Trump.
Why? Because I'm Trump, baby. Puts on some sunglasses.
Finger guns, everybody.
Finger guns, yeah. That would be awesome.
Elon
Someone
gets out
let
his chainsaw.
Yeah.
what, turning up to the Senate and asking for them to declare war on Greenland and all sorts of military takeover.
Yeah, because he's Trump, baby.
And they'd be like, why? He'd be like, what do you mean? Because I'm Trump. Because I want to. Because why not?
Sunglasses.
Yeah. Pew, 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 pew. We have fun here.
Okay, so, I mean,
Tell me, if you're a Democrat or a Republican, that wouldn't be fucking awesome.
That would be
honestly, with a straight
hilarious.
face.
I mean,
That
at
would
this
be one
point,
of the.
it would. And then, you've just got Elon behind him with the sunglasses on. He just revs his little chainsaw. And then he's like, deuces, I'm out. And then, like, leaves.
it would be fun, wouldn't it?
Mic drop.
Trump, because I'm Trump, baby.
You can't do that. Yes, I can because I'm Trump, baby.
Okay. All right, now Tom, you can segue into Death by Coconut.
No, there's nothing to see here.
Death by coconut.
How many people
No,
are killed a year by coconuts?
Probably a lot.
I know it's more than sharks.
Yeah, I'm sure sharks aren't really killed by coconuts very often. I would assume that the coconut attacks on the shark population are next to near zero, you know.
Well, you'd be surprised.
how many sharks do coconuts kill a year?
Let's ask
It'll be
Google.
less than humans.
How many sharks have coconuts killed?
A bunch of land sharks. Ayo.
Okay, but that has given me the statistic I wanted, which is 10 deaths attributed to shark attacks every year, compared with 150 deaths worldwide caused by falling coconuts.
Wow.
That's insane.
I don't know if that's a genuinely, verified fact.
It's the same way with durian. They actually have special nets that they catch the fruit in, and it's below it because durian essentially falls off of the tree before you harvest it. But yeah, they'll kill people by falling on their heads off of the tree because they're so heavy.
Do you know durians, man? Like, they'll kill you by falling on you. They just drop down. They smell terrible. I mean, who looked at that and thought, I'm going to eat it?
Right? Like everything about it tells you shouldn't eat it.
Yeah.
I've never
Like
heard of this thing. What is this?
It's a fruit, and it
Okay.
is
It's like
terrible.
the worst smelling fruit in the world, and it tastes pretty bad as well.
I don't know if you guys have like garbage dumps where you guys are at. But if you imagine a garbage dump, as in tons and tons of garbage on a hot summer day,
Oh.
that's what durian smells like.
I have smelled it.
It smells like hot garbage. And the flavor, it's literally the only fruit that I don't like.
It sounds like the sort of thing they do on those bush trucker tucker trials, or I'm a celebrity, get me out of here. It's something like that.
Yeah. Andrew Zimmern that did Strange Foods. I don't know if you know who he is. Like it's one of the very few things that I've seen him spit out. I've seen him eat bugs, putrid shark. I've seen him eat like all manner of organ and whatever, but he hates durian.
Mm-mm.
Which is why I tried it, because I knew it was supposed to be nasty, and I was like, it couldn't be that bad. It's that bad. It's awful.
And it's all spiky. My God, if that hit you on the head, of course it would kill you. Ow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's huge.
Well,
But if you buy them, you get them from the freezer section, because otherwise they would smell up the entire store. So generally you have like a smoothie with durian in it or something like that, or ice cream with durian. You don't really like let it thaw out because it's gonna smell awful.
Okay. I'm gonna look out for this. I don't know when you how do you buy it? I mean, do you buy the whole thing, or do you buy it?
Every place that I've seen that you buy it, you buy half of it. It's like wrapped up in all sorts of plastics and stuff like that in the freezer section to keep it, I guess, as fresh as possible.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a huge hunk.
Okay. Because I don't know if I've ever I think I've seen like half a jackfruit or a quarter of a jackfruit for sale. I've seen enormous watermelons, the massive, great, elongated ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, durian is from Thailand, and it is it's very potent. If you go to a Thai food place, they might have like a durian smoothie or something like that. That's where I tried durian. I asked for a smoothie. They asked me if I had had it before, and I said no. So they brought me a bowl of it, and I ate a lot of it because it's such a horrible but weird experience that I couldn't stop like trying to figure out, because it's like 1 minute it's like banana, and then it tastes like rotten onion, and then it will taste like, a hint of strawberry, and then it's bad. It is a constant changing of a flavor.
Okay.
But if you can
And-
go to a Thai food place, try it there. It'd be cheaper than buying the whole fruit and then going, where do I get rid of this so that it doesn't smell?
Okay.
And every taste it changes into is worse than the last one.
Basically.
Well, Gabby's busy in my DMs now, warning me away from this thing.
It is it's awful. It really, if you could imagine eating turned onions, like just imagine an onion that's so old that it's mushy. That's what this tastes like.
Well,
Gabby's dug up that while it's a humorous thought, sharks are not killed by coconuts, but the idea of them being killed by coconuts is not supported by scientific evidence.
There you go. See?
I mean, to be fair, you'd have to have a palm tree over the sea, and a coconut would have to fall down and bonk a shark on the head just as it was swimming by.
Mm-hmm.
It's not impossible. It's just very implausible.
Very improbable.
So, yeah.
There you go.
Now we know. Sharks are not killed by coconuts.
It's very important. I know.
So, just take a
Go on.
Just take a moment to remind you all, chat, to check out the channel AI Lovecraft. The link is in the description of the show.
AI Lovecraft.
Yeah. It's AI written stories in the style of Lovecraft, narrated.
Nice.
I'm
Pretty
not
good.
sure I'd want to read an AI written story.
Well, the way I understand it is he comes up with the outline of the story, and he feeds it into an AI, and they give him the story, and then he reads through it and makes alterations to make sure it's not AI gibberish.
Right.
That's cool.
Which is pretty smart.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it does like mark the end of whatchamacallit, like any screenwriter or author's job moving forward.
Well, maybe that's what we need, because we're not getting new ideas. You know?
Yeah, but like no more books written by actual people.
That's
Everything's
a lie.
written by AI.
Books will still be written by people. The only time I use AI, like in my writing, is if I'm like having a hard time finding a hook to get from one place to another. I'll ask it for a suggestion, and I'll grab a bunch of different suggestions, and then I'll go, oh, that one sounds good. And then I'll write it how I want to write it, but I might take its suggestion on a hook, which is kind of nice. If you have, writer's block, you can ask it, and it can give you a bunch of different recommendations, and you can go, hey, that is a really cool way of taking it this way.
Okay.
Let's do it. because it doesn't always just write it for you. You absolutely can get it to do so, but you can also tell it, hey, I have these two people here and here. How can I get them to meet? Like I've done that mostly on D&D. Like whenever I'm writing a campaign, I'll be like, I have X amount of characters. I need them to get here. What's a neat game that they could play or something interesting they could run into while they're blah blah blah. And I'll get a bunch of different prompts and I'll be like, okay, this is the one I want. And then I'll just continue about my way. But AI can be very helpful to writers. I don't think we're gonna have, I mean, we do already have AI driven cartoons. We've seen that with SpongeBob. A purely AI ran SpongeBob cartoon. It was nightmare fuel, but they're already doing that. It's not as good. There's still going to have to be a human touch for now. Eventually, though, yeah, we're probably going to be replaced.
Oh God, all this does worry me. I mean, I I know teachers that have had some real benefits from this, where they've say, I need to make a reading test for my kids or a reading activity, and you say, get this, and you can say to ChatGPT or anyone, make with this text, make a second grade reading paper focusing on characters' feelings and word meaning, and or something like that, and they and then whoop, it does it in an instant, and that's 2 hours work instantly saved.
Go ahead.
There are benefits. There are real benefits to it. But and a friend of mine, actually, in America, started having deep philosophical conversations with it about how the world could possibly end with end exploitation and things like this, and it was really deep and heavy. So I said, okay, I'll give it a go. And so I've got one story I can tell either now or a little bit later about my my one lousy attempt to use AI and how badly it went. But Nikki, you were going to say something?
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't remember what I was going to say, honestly.
Okay, I'll carry on then.
Haha, yeah.
Now I've got to remember what I was going to say. No, I can't remember. It was...
Oh, go ahead.
Well, have you just remembered?
Yeah, I was saying that
go.
I've used it to plug in my personal writing, and then I just had it make a 15-minute podcast with it of two people talking about what I wrote.
Okay.
So you can do that as a college student. You don't want to read the Odyssey, or a high school student rather. You don't want to read the Odyssey. You can listen to a 15-minute podcast about it.
Do they sound good, the AI people?
Oh yeah, they sound great.
So AI generates a podcast of two people having
talking, having a conversation, and it sounds just like a podcast would.
That's just
like you can. If Richard wanted to get on ChatGPT and write down, be like, I want to do a podcast about blah, 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 it could write an outline for him so that he could keep the show on the rails and have segues and whatnot. Like, I mean, it could be scary, but it's also insanely helpful.
Well, well, you know what? We can only hope for one thing. If there's one thing that recent experience has taught us here in England, it's that if you want to get something done and you want to elicit, mass populations contempt and outrage at something, you need to make a TV drama about it. That's how it worked with Alan Bates in the post office. That's how it's just worked with adolescents. So we're all, well, personally, I'm just hoping and praying that in the next season of Black Mirror, Charlie Brooker is going to go all guns blazing for AI. And he's going to have such a cacophony of horror stories and nightmare situations, worst case scenarios involving AI that we're all going to actually stop and think, hang on, is all this actually a really good idea or not?
Right.
Well, we'll find out next week.
Yeah, it's very soon, isn't it?
It's next week,
Yeah. I'm super
wow.
excited.
10th, Thursday.
Oh, cool.
Six
It's gonna be
episodes.
good.
We're on holiday, so I might watch a couple of episodes, if everyone else has gone to bed or something. Wow.
I know I'll be watching it.
Oh, it's yeah. I don't actually mean everything I just said there. I don't know, but I can. I mean that is really amazing, Nikki. What you say about that shortcut to getting your essay, getting an understanding done. Oh my! But it just encourages so much laziness in humans.
Yes, it does. It really does. The thing is like, what's sad is that AI could be amazing if greed could stay out of it and like, I don't know how to explain it. It could help out so much. We could learn how to do things we don't have the capacity to compute doing if we allowed it to do the mathematics for us. I mean, we have some AI that are starting to translate old scripture, like old scripts and hieroglyphs and stuff that we found in caves. It's able to like generate like a meaning to that. It's capable of computing things faster than we are, and it's going to be capable of learning faster than us. And we could do so much, like even from a medical standpoint, from a way of life kind of standpoint with AI, but that's not what it's going to be about. They're not going to use it to better mankind. They're going to use it to make more money, to better themselves for profit. It's not going to be like we have this and now we can have a society where people don't have to work as much and they can focus on a family and they can do blah, blah, blah. It's going to still be the same. It's still going to be a horrible rat race because people are greedy.
Which brings us nicely back to the subject of evolution. We evolved to be greedy.
We do.
Only the greedy survive?
No, everyone survives because of our medical technology and whatnot.
That's true. We are. I don't know if are we causing a problem for evolution, or will evolution actually get rid of us one day?
Well, we're seeing evolution in action right now. You're seeing more and more entitled people because that's the best way to get ahead. And, well, it's the best way, to put your needs before anyone else's and push forward. And it's working for them. You're seeing influencers and all sorts. And that's evolution. You're also seeing, like, a massive rise in transsexuality and homosexuality. Both lesbians and gay people, because, we're overpopulated. So they're trying. I genuinely believe evolution is trying to slow us down.
I see that. I was so afraid you were going to go on about some kind of gay agenda or something, but yeah, I could see that. That would make sense. That evolution would try to slow us down.
I'm not anti-gay.
I know.
Just saying,
I'm certainly not. So shall I? Is now a good time to say about my lame experience with AI?
Yeah, go.
No. 1 out of 10 for enthusiasm, Richard. But hey,
we were talking about something else, and so now we've got to talk about you again.
Don't let him be shitty to you.
There was a lengthy pause.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. Let's talk about Tom. Go.
It's not about me. It's about AI.
I know. I just like winding you up.
Oh, well, I fell for that one anyway.
Yeah.
Right. So one of my favorite TV shows Because God, I'm going to sound like an egotistical again already. One of my favorite
An
TV shows.
egotistical.
Yeah, it's the
He's
noun
balls
derived from
deep
the
in
adjective
ego.
egotistical.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, I mean, I made that up, but anyway.
Carry
okay.
on.
So, one of my favorite TV shows is called Whitstable Pearl. It's a very small time amateur detective series set in where I live, where my family and I are right now, in Whitstable and North Kent. And the opening theme tune sounds lovely, but I cannot for the life of me make out the first line. I just can't hear the words clearly at the end of the sentence. The last 5 or so words all merge into just something I can't decipher. And so I asked AI. I said, "Hello, ChatGPT." I said, "I think it's Meta AI." I asked in Messenger. I just said, "Hi, that TV show Whitstable Pearl. What's the first line, please?" And it came out with an immediate response. I can't answer that question for you, but if you go on fan pages, you go on forums, you go, I'm like, no, tried all of those. Nowhere on the internet does it have written. I mean, this TV show is as tiny as a TV show gets. You know, it's not got a website or anything. And so then I said, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I said, they film near us, and they take over the local supermarket half of the supermarket car park, because it's massive, the Tesco in Whitstable. The car park doesn't need to be anywhere near the size it is. And they take over half of that with all their vans and everything. And I'm just going to turn up. And I'm just going to knock on one of those caravan doors and go, "Excuse me, can I speak to someone in charge, please?" And they're going to kick me in the knackers, and I'll survive, and I'll try again, and I'll make such a nuisance of myself in the right kind of way. Well, I didn't say this to ChatGPT. I just said, next time I'm there, I'm going to ask them personally. And ChatGPT's response was, that's a creative and determined approach, but you do want to make sure that you go by the regulations of fans on sets. Have a look at the website. I'm like, oh God, the website again? There's nothing there. There's like maybe one page on Acorn TV that does it, but I'm still no nearer to finding out the first line of this bloody favorite opening theme tune of this TV show of mine.
You looked up the lyrics?
Yes, there's nothing there.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I literally cannot find. I don't think they are. I don't think they weren't on there last time I checked. Yeah, but it's in my lyrics partial. You'll find me at the White Post. Well, yes, and that's it. Oh, that's right. There's a Reddit thread about it, and none of us know it. No one can. What is it? No one. There's few fans who are on there can't find it. So none of us can.
Richard, are you still awake?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm listening. Why?
I was just curious.
So there we are. It's still a bit of a mystery. I've just Googled it. I'm on the Reddit page, and there's one proposed one. There once was a place with mudlands alonely. But those last 4 words, after with, whatever it says after with, no one really knows. So, but there we are. Gee, I sure lead an exciting life, don't I?
Nice.
Well, are we done, dare I say?
Yeah, I think so. The conversation reached a natural conclusion there, and I can't think of anything else to say.
EastEnders?
Oh, we still haven't watched Thursday's episode.
Oh.
It's my fault.
It's Nikki's fault. So, yeah, that'll wrap us up for this week. We will return next week, despite the hopes of many. It's good night from me, and it's good night from them. Good night, everyone.
Good night, people.
Good night.